Welcome to the Brass and Woodwind shop. I have a trumpet in my shop with a mouthpiece and it is very stuck. Most of the time it can be pulled out easily with a mouthpiece puller, but sometimes they're extra stuck. Usually what happens is a band director or another music star will come in and they've already tried to get it unstuck and they put some penetrating oil on there, and sometimes they've tried heat or freezing it and none of it has worked, so they take it to me and then I see what I can do to get it unstuck. This is what I use to get the mouthpieces unstuck. It's a Bobcat Mouthpiece Puller and it works very well. I've had 100% success with this on trumpets. The only time this has not pulled a mouthpiece is for a tuba, and that's because these knobs can hit the mouthpiece and it doesn't work. So, but for trumpets, 100% success with the Bobcat Mouthpiece Puller. Once someone has tried this tool and not been successful, there are a few other tricks that you can use to get it to work. You take the mouthpiece puller and you put it on the instrument, then you push it right up to where the receiver meets the mouthpiece. Then with your thumb and index finger, push the jaws up tight and then screw these screws down tightly. After you're done with that, tighten up the screws so that the top part meets the mouthpiece, and turn the screws a couple times each, and you want these to remain parallel to each other. If they are not parallel, then you can cause damage. When that's tight, you can use the normal methods of getting the mouthpiece unstuck and see if it does come unstuck. Now, after it's already been tried by someone else, chances are it will not come off, and this one is not coming off. While you're doing this, you also have to keep an eye to make sure that these jaws do not slip and cause more damage on the receiver of the trumpet. I've tightened up the screws as tight as I can get them with my bare hands, and it's still not coming off. So next I'm going to use a parallel jaw pliers, put it over the screw, and then I'm going to turn this carefully. And while you're doing this, you need to be careful because there's a lot of pressure on this. And make sure that if the mouthpiece comes flying out, which it can do, that it's not going to hit anybody or anything that should not be damaged. And now I'm going to put a little more pressure on here. You have to be careful. This may seem like it might do damage to the instrument, but if you are careful and go slowly, it should be okay. And also remember to keep an eye on these jaws right down there. And it seems like everything is okay. If things start to slip, then loosen it up and start over again. If the jaws of the mouthpiece puller have slipped enough times and caused this to be tapered, one thing you can do, although you try not to have to do this, take a small file and file down the edge of the receiver and do it on both sides. That gives you a flat surface to work with for the mouthpiece puller. I'm going to keep putting more pressure on it. Do one screw and then the other. Now there is a lot of pressure on this right now. There we go. It came undone. And there's the mouthpiece. If that way does not work, put some more penetrating oil between the receiver and the mouthpiece and leave it tightened up, and then just leave it on your bench all night. Also be sure that the mouthpiece is not aimed at anything that can be damaged or aimed at anybody. And also it's a good idea to put a rag over it, so if the mouthpiece does go flying at night when you're not here, it will be contained inside the rag. Sometimes you come to work the next morning and then the mouthpieces will be unstuck. If it is still stuck, then try putting more pressure on it with the pliers and hopefully that will work. After all that, if it is still stuck, the last thing to do is unsolder the receiver with the mouthpiece still stuck in it and just replace the receiver. In the description below, I will leave a link to where you can purchase a Bobcat Mouthpiece Puller. I hope this video has been helpful, and please subscribe for more band instrument repair videos.